Jeff, the host of the Gridiron.
All right, welcome to the Gridiron. If you can give this video a thumbs up or maybe share this video, that would be absolutely freaking awesome. If you subscribe to my channel, thank you. If not, please go down below, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell icon. That way next time I go live or if I put a video out, you'll be notified. And it's free of charge. What do you got to lose, right? But if you are subscribed, thank you. If you want to help support my channel out, the top link in the description box, the very top link takes you to my membership page. I got 3 different membership levels. Each one has their own little perks to them. So if you want to help support my channel out, it would mean so much to me. And I thank you in advance. Thank you. And then finally, way down in the description box, I believe it's the bottom link, very bottom link, takes you to my Facebook group. It's called the New York Giants Gridiron. It's my Facebook group. We have over 9,400 members in the group. It's doing simply marvelous, might I add. Basically, if I'm alive and breathing, and if I got internet access, I'm putting stuff in this group darn near 365. It's called the New York Giants Gridiron. It's my Facebook group. Please join it. You will not be dissatisfied. I promise. All right. Well, that time of the week, let's go over the, shall we say, the team and player grades after the Deutschland debacle. No, that's the only way I can, that's the only thing I can think of that, I don't know, the New York meltdown. I don't know. What do you want to call it? I don't know. No idea. I just, Deutschland debacle. It just sounds, once again, another game the Giants could have, I don't want to say should have, but could have won. And we're going to go over it toward the end of our program here, very last portion of our program here. We're going to go over one of the reasons why week in and week out the New York Football Giants, other than the 2 games we had, obviously week 1 where we were just really pretty much totally outmatched and outclassed by the Vikings, and then I don't remember what week it was against the Eagles where they just came in and just kicked the snot out of us. You figure those two games, those and just throw them out. We shouldn't have won them. Had no reason being in those games and all that. So. But the other 8, being 2-8, and we won 2 of the other 8 games are just one of those coulda, shoulda, but we lost. Was it by? What did we lose by? 8 points to the Steelers, 10 points to the 8 points to the Steelers. That. You could. When we had the ball, we were driving the end of the game, and anyway. Once again, the Giants. You got to give them some credit. In this game, they fought their way back down 10-0, right? Fought their way back. There's plenty of chances for things to happen. A missed field goal. So basically, they got inside. I think the Panthers' 30-yard line, I guess, 3 times, and they came away with no points. The 2 red zone interceptions and the missed field goal by Grant. 3 times you get inside their 30, and you come up with if we got 1 point, those 3 times, right? You're talking a victory. 3 times, no points. Then, of course, then the goose that laid the golden egg was the fumble by Tracy, where they allowed them to kick the. Just one of those seasons. It was kind of almost like in 2022. A lot of things kind of went the Giants' way. Well, this year we're still relatively healthy. Hey, every team's losing some players here and there, right? We lost Andrew Thomas, for the season, but. We lost Kayvon, but he's going to be coming back. Hopefully, maybe with any luck, maybe the bye week, after the bye week, right? That would be cool. But we stay relatively healthy, right? But, last year, one of the biggest problems was the fact that we weren't healthy, right? And that obviously, caused our, good portion of the reason why we were 6-11. So it is what it is. But let's go over the team grades right now. See where do the Giants stand? Usually PFF, there's no love for the Giants, rightfully so. When you're 2-8, you're. Although their overall team grade is not too bad. I mean, it's not too bad especially for somebody who's team that's 2-8. So find it here. There we go. Let me share my screen. All right. There we go. So we got. Over here. Let's get this bigger here. Right? So we got the Lions, rightfully so. I can't remember. I saw something. It was either the Lions were the first team ever, or the first team since maybe the merger to throw 5 interceptions, be down by 15 or more points, and still come back and win the game. Unbelievable. So obviously keep an eye out for this team right here. They seem like they're on a mission. And good for them. I hope they win it all. I hope they finally get off the schneid, and I'm pulling for them. I mean, Campbell's a heck of a guy, heck of a nice guy, former Giant, great. It seems like a lot of coaches are caring. He seems like he's a caring coach and all that, and he's got a great team. He's getting the best out of them, and they seem like they're on a mission. So good for them. So the number one overall team, the team grade, right? We got the Lions at 92.4. So the Giants, the Giants, you figure, the Giants are 2-8. They got to be number 32. No, not necessarily. But I got to slide this over a little bit here. There we go. Where are the Giants at here? Giants are number 24, 72.1. Right, they're ahead of there's a lot of teams out here with 3 wins, but Carolina's at 63. So Carolina beat the Giants, but Carolina's overall team grade is a 63. The Giants were they were 9 points higher as far as team grade. So the Giants have some things going for them. But all right, let's go offensive grades here. Who's number 1? The Ravens. Obviously, where they got that nice running attack there. So let's see where the Giants are at here. I'm sure pretty low. The Giants number 24, 67.9. Passing grade. Who's number 1? The Ravens. Wow. All right, let's see here. Where's the Giants at here? Number 22, 64.4. Pass blocking. Now, I did see something, which was, it makes you feel a little good, right? So PFF has the Giants' offensive line ranked as the most improved over last season. So, right? We're not Hall of Fame worthy. We're not number 1, whatever like that. But we are the most improved over last season. So. A little bit of that's from PFF, so we're getting a little bit of love from them. But the best pass blocking is the Packers, 81.9. All right, where are the Giants at here? Giants pass blocking number 23, 63. All right, receiving grade. Best see, we got the Ravens, 86. Where are the Giants at here? Number 24. A lot of stuff in the 20s here. 65.6. All right, me. Okay, buddy. You good. All right. Running grade. Okay, you'll notice the Ravens are like number 1 in pass and number 2 in running. Right. The Falcons running number 1, 92.1. The Falcons. All right, so the Giants here, let's see now here. The Giants are Number 21 out of 75. That's, all from Mr. Tyrone Tracy Jr., right? Now, also, I mean, I know, they were talking about this on Big Blue Kickoff Live. It was yesterday. A lot of people, want to bring up Saquon and this, that. The Giants should have kept Saquon, and, why don't they keep Saquon and Saquon, and Saquon, and yeah. But, you also look at it too, right, is that, the Eagles have better weapons. They have a better offensive line. Their offensive line coach is really, really good. All this stuff and everything, and Saquon's doing very good. But you also have to realize, too, that this is, Saquon's, 7th year in the league, right? He cost the Eagles $13 million. Now, if Tyrone Tracy was in there and had as many carries as Saquon did and all that stuff, he wouldn't be too far behind Saquon. And guess what? Tyrone Tracy Jr. is in his first year. Saquon's in his 7th. Tyrone Tracy Jr. costs less than $1 million a year. Saquon costs over 13. I'll take Tyrone Tracy Jr. I mean, we've seen Tyrone take it to the house. He can take it to the house. He can't jump over people like Saquon. Maybe he's not quite as elusive as Saquon. However, Tyrone's first year, rookie, 5th round pick. Saquon is a 2nd pick overall. 5th round pick, Tyrone Tracy Jr. Less than $1 million, and he's leading and he's not even hasn't been a starter all year either. Imagine if he was the starter since day one, he would be leading the league in rookie rushing. So, but he is leading the league. I think he's tied for first right now, but he hasn't been a starter all year. So hopefully he'll be the starter the rest of the way. Hopefully he stays healthy and all this stuff and everything. And hey, he might even get himself 1,000 yards. I mean, wouldn't that be great? 1,000-yard rusher from our rookie, 5th round pick, less than $1 million. I'll take Tyrone Tracy Jr. Because, in 2-3 years or whatever, when Saquon's career's coming to an end, as long as Tyrone Tracy Jr. stays healthy, Saquon's still costing 12, 13, 14 million a year. Tyrone Tracy's still at less than $1 million. So I'll take Tyrone Tracy Jr. As I said, the running grade, let's see. So we got run blocking. The Colts, number 1, 78.6. Where are the Giants at here? Giants are number 17. Is that, let's see here. 17, 63.3. All right, now we go to the defense. Who's number 1? The Eagles, 85.5. All right, the Giants are number 13, 69.5. Okay. Run defense. The Ravens, number 1, 88.4. The Giants, nice. Let's see, where are the Giants at here? The Giants are somehow we're only number 21. And we're all the way up to 21. I mean, as horrible and pathetic and all that stuff as our run defense has been, we're number 21, 60.1. Tackling. Ravens number 1, 77.1. All right, where the Giants are at here? Let's see. Giants tackling, number 19, 48.9. Yeah, we've had a very bad year for tackling. Very bad year. Pass rush. Steelers number 1, 90.2. Giants are number 6, 76.7. So there you go. At least we got something going for us. Coverage grade. 49ers number 1, 90.2. Well, actually, they're tied with the Eagles. They're both 90.2. All right, we got, let's see here. Giants are number 18, 64. All right, special teams, the Patriots. Wow. So that just goes to show you. I mean, look at the top, right? I mean, you got the Seahawks 4 and 5, the Browns are 2 and 7, the Patriots are 3 and 7. These are the top teams, and even the Cowboys, right? As far as special teams. 91. Both the Browns and the Patriots are both 91 special teams. The Giants are number 17, 79.1. So, course, I guess the what is it, the run back, the punt return and all that stuff. I'm sure that didn't help too much either. Right? It is what it is. But all right, let's go to the offensive grades after the Deutschland debacle. And interestingly, of course, I did this before. I've talked about this with Evan Neal. I mean, being the number one, getting the highest score from PFF on the Giants' offensive side. Wow. Huh? Go figure. All right, so let me share. Let's go back to this here. I got to pop this up here. It changes around. All right, so let's go smaller. Let's see, by team. Okay, we got that. This one here. All right, so let's go to Panthers and we'll go to game reports here. And we'll go to offense. Here we go. All right. Now, what you like to say, which was nice too, right? I mean, one respect, right, is that a bunch of the highest rated guys were on the offensive line here. If you see it, right? You see, you got Evan Neal. Right, the top four guys, even Michael Schmitz Jr. That's great to see him up here. Really, really good to see him up there. I mean, it doesn't have to be, but you got what? What do we got? Actually, all the top guys were all on the offensive line because even Manhurts, he's in there more for blocking purposes, right? So you figure the top six guys were pretty much on the offensive line as far as grades. So nice to see that. But once again, we also the Carolina does not have, we're not talking the steel curtain, doomsday, purple people eaters, fearsome force. We're not talking that, right? I mean, the Carolina, they don't have they had Burns and they let him go, right? So, I mean, they Clowney, I mean, they got a couple guys there, but I mean, they're not, I mean, that's not one of their strong suits, shall we say. They don't have much as far as strong suits of anything, but it didn't matter because they beat the Giants. So you got to tip your cap to the Panthers, that's for sure. But I mean, Evan Neal, 75 snaps, graded out of 80, but his run blocking 93.4. Like, you could almost like kind of tell, and he made like an emphasis of it, and which is nice to see. He was out there moving people. When when he wasn't in pass blocking, when he was able to attack, he was attacking, and he's just so big and strong. If he gets his paws on you, right, it's lights out, right? And you see, I mean, it's 93.4. I mean, holy cow. I mean, he did have some issues, with the pass blocking. Once again, he just seems to have issues with, athletic guys. He has a hard time. I would really love to see what the guy can do, right? Van Roten, we have him for 1 year. Let's see what Evan Neal can do next year. Put him in at right guard. If we can bring Illuminor back at right tackle. We got Andrew Thomas at left tackle. Let's put Evan Neal in at right guard and see what he can do. Let's put Evan Neal next to John Michael Schmitz and see what these guys can do, right? But Van Roten had a good game, 76.7. His pass block at 84. Jermaine Illuminor, obviously all 75 snaps, 74.9. His run blocking was really good. Michael Schmitz had a solid game, very solid game. Look here, 74.8, but his pass blocking 72, and his run block was a 73. Very good game. Chris Manhurts was in there for just 25 snaps, but graded out of 71. And then John Runyon Jr. So all 75 snaps, graded out of 69, 75.7, and 64.1 run blocking. So very, very good, solid numbers. Fantastic job by the offensive line here. You see numbers like this and you kind of figure, well, we should have got the W. But alas, you'd be wrong, right? We got Malik Neighbors, was in there for 66 snaps. He missed, 9 snaps, but graded out of 68. Now, of course, there were times he was open. One time, the two I'm thinking of, one time the ball got airmailed over his head. Another time he was wide open on a flea flicker, which the ball didn't get thrown. So you're kind of wondering if he caught some of those passes, if that would have helped his score at all. You don't know. But Devin Singletary was in there for 17 snaps, ran a 66.8. Daniel Jones, 65.7. Theo Johnson, 69 snaps. Guy's getting a lot of snaps. That's good. Let's see what we got. 64.2. Jalen Hyatt was in there for 55 snaps. What do you have? I think four receptions. Yeah, 4. Because I think Malik had 6, Wandale had 5, and I think Hyatt had 4. So, of course, Wandale Robinson, right? So Hyatt was a 63.6, 62.8 was Wandale. Now, obviously, what pulled Jalen down a little bit apparently was his run blocking. He graded that at 37 here. All right, so, but you also notice here too. You see, there was a penalty called on Wandale and there was a penalty called on Daniel Jones, but none of them were accepted. So the offense had a nice, clean game. As far as penalties, not turnovers, because we had 3 very costly turnovers. But Joshua Zuda was in there for one snap, graded out of 60. Eric Wright, 2 snaps, 59.7. Daniel Bellinger, his snaps have really plummeted, boy. I'll tell you, since his rookie season. I mean, last year you can see where his snaps were going to take a step backwards, right, because of Waller being there. But now Waller's gone. You'd figure Bellinger would step in, but no. I'll tell you, they got they got Theo. Theo was 69 out of the 75 snaps Theo was on the field for. So Daniel Bellinger was 59.6. Isaiah Hodgins was in there for 23 snaps, right out of 55. I think he had 1 catch. And then Tyrone Tracy, 60 snaps, 49.3. His passing, I was at 25.3. That I'm sure that really pulled him down. His run blocking wasn't too bad. His running wasn't too bad. 61.2. Now obviously the 25.3. And of course, he's the one that missed the one the pass, which wasn't a fantastic pass by Daniel Jones. It looked like it was a little behind Tyrone Tracy Jr. instead of in front of him, but Tyrone got his hands on the ball, should have brought the ball in and said that was one of the ones that got picked off. Now, if the ball just got knocked down to the ground, right, and the Giants didn't gain another yard, possibly we tried Graham Gano out onto the field, right, and he kicks a field goal, and then quite possibly we maybe don't go into overtime, and the Giants wind up winning the game, right? But it is what it is. I mean, just one of those things. It's just you go back. It's you at the end of the season, you just turn around. You look back at each game, and it's like, it's probably these 4 or 5 games here the Giants could have won. I mean, you just take 2, and you just take 2. Yeah, take 2. Yeah, just take 2 of those games that the Giants could have won. Now they're 4-6. Still not fantastic, but we don't have a real hard schedule toward the end here. We got some winnable games. Not saying we would make a playoff push, but you can certainly see where we would get more wins than we had last year, without question. I mean, but. There's no do-overs, there's no mulligans, there's no takesy-backsies or nothing like that. Once the play is in the books, it's in the books. There's nothing you can do about it. So Giants moving forward and next season and all that stuff have to find ways to win these close games. And until they find ways of pulling out these close games, they're going to continue to be in the cellar. So. All right, so let's go over. Let's go over the defensive grades after the Deutschland debacle. Right? I mean, we were down. I mean, the biggest thing here, I guess, with the defensive grades is that what you could say would be, my God, that run defense. My goodness. But some of it also is that, it's being gashed up the middle, but some of it is around the edge. So it's just a little, it's kind of like, because one thing, when bringing in Bowen, right, was his run defense. His run defense was supposed to be pretty good. And that's one of the problems the Giants have had for the past few years. We had a good year. It was however many years ago. What was it, 2020, 2021, whatever it was, but the 1 year. When we have 17, I think it was 2020. I think we got Leo. We had Dalvin Tomlinson. And we had Sexy Dexy. That 1 year we had those three guys. Our run defense was pretty good. Pretty good. Let me see here. Let's see now here. Let me go back here. Let me see. It was 2020. Let's see here. What was our run defense here? All right, rushing. Games, 10 yards, 1768. Doesn't show the defense here. Let's see. Show the defense here. Defensive fumbles, tackles. None of them. Scoring summary. Kicking returns, kicking. Nah, it doesn't show there. Third down, red zone. Rushing. Okay, here we go. And the Giants gave up 4.1 yards a carry. They got 4.4 yards and they only gave up 4.1. They gave up 432 rushing attempts and only gave up 1,782 yards. So basically they gave up 4 yards a carry, which is not too bad. And I do believe, let me go roster here. I mean, I do believe that was the Tomlinson. Yeah. Sexy Dexy, Leonard Williams, and Dalvin Tomlinson. Yeah. So, that 1 year. Yeah, that 1 year was really, really, really good as far as with the run defense, right? But I mean, it's gone down in the dumper ever since. All right, so let's go over the defensive grades here. All right, so we're going to go back here. Whoops. All right, whoops. All right, defense. Okay, here we go. Andrew Phillips. Now, you like to see this, you know what I mean? Once again, Andrew Phillips. If we go look at Andrew, click on Andrew Phillips here. Right? Third round grade. Dude's 84.6 on the year. Right? So this is his second game he graded out overall in the 80s. His coverage grade, look, 90 and a 90. He's had 2 games where he graded out in the 90s on pass coverage. Another phenomenal game, 84.6. Absolutely fantastic. So, the one nice thing is that, so far this class really, really looks good. Theo Johnson, he's getting quite a bit of playing time. Obviously he hasn't set the world on fire as far as receiving, but he's getting a lot of valuable playing time. But Tyrone Tracy Jr., we got ourselves a fine running back. Newman, right, leads. I think he leads the NFL as far as rookies and with tackles. He's only missed 2 snaps all season long. Only missed 2 snaps, and he's a rookie, right? And I said Andrew Phillips. Malik Neighbors, Theo Johnson, Tyrone Tracy Jr. So, I mean, this rookie class really looks good. Really, really looks good. So we had Andrew Phillips was number one and graded out of 88.2. Now, of course, you knew Burnsy was going to have a good game, right? 85.1 against his former team. Well, let's see, what do we got here? Let me see. Can I move this over here? He had 7 total pressures. He had 5 hurries. He had a hit and a sack. Oh, yeah. He had a great game. What do we got? We had 16 total hurries there. So, but unfortunately, we only got the 1 sack. But Cordell Flott, good to see him out there, brother. He played 51 snaps, 77.8. Dory Jackson, remember him? He had 15 snaps. He graded a 74.9. Tyler Newman, as I said, strong safety, was in there for every snap, 60. Right? Him and Dane Belton, 2 safeties, were out there the whole time. 60 snaps. He graded a 71. Sexy Dexy was in there for 45 snaps, 68.5. Bobby Okereke, 57 snaps, 67.2. Now he had, let's see, tackles. He had, like, I think grand total, was it 12 tackles? I think it was 7 solo and 5 assisted, I think it was. So he had a great game. But Elijah Chapman was only in there for 5 snaps, 61.7. Armand Watts, 18 snaps. What was 26.3? What is that there? It's tackling. And he must have missed a couple tackles there. Yeah, he made 1 tackle and he missed a tackle. So that's why his tackle was a 26.3. But at a 55.9. Isaiah Simmons with just 12 snaps. Once again, it's like can't find the time, can't get the guy on the field. On special teams, he's on the field, but on defense, just 12 snaps, 54.8. Tay Banks, 54 snaps, 53.9. Azeez Ojulari, 52 snaps, graded out of 52. Micah McFadden, 46 snaps, 38.5. What was really bad? His coverage grade was bad at a 33. But other than that, these other grades aren't too bad. Nacho was in there for 44 snaps, graded out of 30.5. Dane Belton, 29.7. So you notice there's a little bit of a drop off because Pinnock was not in there. Toman Fox, 12 snaps, 29.3. And DJ Davidson, 23 snaps, 27.2. Now, once again, this is another one of the reasons why what we need as far as like an upgrade, like on the defensive line. I would love to see, like, maybe next year in the draft, if we can. It's supposed to be a real good draft class for defensive tackles. And I said, what I would love to see. I mean, like you see, like with edge rushers, right? You know how we got like a bit of a drop off here, and the tackle position and all of that. So. Unfortunately, if we lose Azeez Ojulari to free agency, let's see. I mean, as I said, if we lose Azeez, you notice we had Toman Fox there, but you notice what his grade was. I mean, also, like, if Riley was in there or DJ Davidson, it's a step down. Right? Once Sexy comes off the field, if you put somebody in there next to him, it's a step down. We need. Unfortunately, we have 3 good edge rushers now, but unfortunately, we're probably going to lose one of them in free agency. So we'll be back down to 2. But we need somebody on the front line, whether it's an edge rusher or whether we get a tackle next to Sexy. So that look for that next year. It's supposed to be a real good, 2 good classes for the cornerbacks and defensive tackles. So just say we take a quarterback in the first round. Now, if we don't have to give up, draft picks or whatever, we still actually have our 2nd and 3rd round picks. We might even get a compensatory pick in the 4th round. That would be cool. So we might have 2 4th round picks. Would be cool. But in the 2nd and 3rd round, you might be able to take a tackle and a cornerback, which because we need help in the cornerback position. So, I mean, if you get somebody in a good cornerback And if you get a good defensive tackle, that would really help out this defense quite a bit. So along the line, we're going to need that third edge rusher once again because we don't have. If we lose Aziz, we don't have a third edge rusher. We have a third edge rusher, but somebody's going to get you some production. We don't have it, so it is what it is. All right, so let's go over now. How about the special teams grades after the Deutschland debacle? Well, unfortunately, Mr. Consistency right here was one of the reasons why we lost once again. Now, he came back his first game back since, hurting himself against the Commanders and all that stuff and everything. And, unfortunately, his missed, 43-yarder, I believe it was very makeable. Very makeable, especially for him. And once again, you look at Shane, you look at Dable, it's this, it's that, you fire everybody, sell the team, yada, yada, yada. Well, you got a field goal kicker you're paying $5, $6, $7 million, whatever it is a year for, and he misses a 43-yard field goal. The guy's making 80, 85, 90% of his field goals with the Giants. Misses a 43-yard field goal. Quite possibly, if he makes that field goal, quite possibly the Giants come out with the dub. Right? Now, he missed the field goal. Is that on Dable? They missed the field goal? Is that on Shane? He missed the field goal? No. So, no. You got the guys in place, thankfully he made up for it and he sent the game into overtime, which is cool. But had he made that field goal, quite possibly the Giants win. All right. Is what it is. All right, let's go here. Share our screen once again. All right, let's go here. Let's go to special teams. Now, usually just the special team, there's a ton of guys. What do we got here? All around the 60 mark. How many guys we got here? 31 guys. Yeah, 31 guys played. All right, so that's. But hey, talking about Toman Fox, right? He led the team special teams. Let's see, he was on 20 special team snaps, rated out of 78.7. You have Ty Summers, specifically, is one of the reasons why he's on the roster, specifically for special teams. Well, he was on 22 special team snaps, and he graded at 72.9. Dean Belton, 16 snaps. He was a busy guy, right? 60 snaps on the defense, 16 snaps on special teams, right? 71.7. Theo Johnson was in for 10 snaps. 71.4, and Isaiah Simmons was 10 snaps, 71.3. Daniel Bellinger, right, 11 snaps. He graded a 69.9. Patrick Johnson, 25 snaps, 69.7. Now, Matthew Adams, it's good to see he was back on the field. All 26 special team snaps, graded a 65.2. Micah McFadden was on there for 8 snaps, 64.7. Casey Kreider, of course, long snapper, 64.5. Tyler Nubin, all right. So he's not only was out there for on the defense, 60 snaps, but he played 11 snaps on special teams, 63.3. Cordell Flott, just 4. Special team snaps rated out of 60.9. Then we got DJ Davidson, John Runyon. And then once you start getting, there's a lot of guys that usually grade out around a 60. So we got Runyon, Dory Jackson, Art Green, who played all 26 snaps. Right? He's the one that took McLeod's spot, and he didn't necessarily play on the defense, but we brought him up and he played all 26 special team snaps. The Hammer, 9 snaps, 9 plays on special teams, graded out of 60. As I said, a lot of these guys Luminor, Hubbard, Azudu, Stinney. They all graded out like a 60. Bobby Okereke was in there for 4 snaps. Eric Gray, Graham Gano, graded out a 60. Now, the thing I just scratched my head a little bit about is Graham Gano missed a field goal. How does he grade that? I mean, why isn't he down toward the bottom down here, like one of these, like a 30 or a 40 or something like that? If he misses a very makeable field goal, why is he, I don't understand this, why he's at a 60. Nacho was 5 special team snaps, 59.9. Sexy Dexy was even out there for 1. Let's see, was that field goal block? Field goal block, yeah. So he was out there trying to block a field goal attempt. 59.8. Elijah Chapman was in there for 4 snaps. He graded 59.7. Anthony Johnson Jr., 22 snaps, 58.8. Chris Manhertz, 9 snaps, 52.5. Then the 2 bottom ones there. We got Curtis Bolton, sit there for 15 snaps, 32.4. And then, of course, one of the things apparently, I guess, that really hurt Smith Marset, he had 13 snaps, but he graded out a 28. But quite possibly, these 2 penalties were called on him, and both of them were accepted. Who had the other penalty here? Theo Johnson had 1 called on him. So if he didn't have a penalty called on him, maybe this grade is even a little bit higher. But Smith Marset, as you can see here, right? Yeah, he's pretty much specifically a special teamer, but he graded 28.1. And of course, I said these 2 penalties, both of them were accepted, did not help his cause at all. So, yeah. Bam. So, I mean, usually that's the way it is. A lot of times, like on special teams, you saw it was like, 31 guys from the team participated in special teams. And, a lot of them wind up being like in the 60s and all that. Usually you get a few guys up at the top. You usually get maybe a few guys down at the bottom. But for the most part, a lot of guys are in the 60s. But, I mean, it's a huge part of the team. I mean, you can go back to a few games this year, right? I mean, I said specifically this game right here. Very makeable kick. 43-yarder from Graham Gano. He misses it. He makes that. Quite possibly we win. The game against the Steelers, they return a punt back for a touchdown. If we kick it down there and we hold them down there and they don't score, nothing like that, right? You take 7 points off the board. Now the Giants have the ball at the end of the game. They don't need a touchdown. They need a field goal. Maybe the call's a little different. Maybe Daniel Jones approaches it a little bit. Maybe he doesn't throw that pass. Maybe we'll right. The one game against the Commanders where we didn't have a field goal kicker, right? We have a field goal kicker in that game. Possibly we win that. So, I mean, special teams are absolutely huge. And once again, you can look at a couple games. Special teams cost us this year. Right? Thankfully, the game against the Browns, when Eric Gray ran the ball out, fumbled it, and I think it was like the next play, Sean Watson hits Cooper in the corner of the end zone there, front corner of the end zone, or right by the side of the end zone. Nice pass, good pass. But thankfully, that touchdown didn't cost us. Right? Thankfully, we were able to manage to win that game. But also in that same game, right? Joseph had a chance, a kick and a field goal, which would have put us up 2 scores, I believe it was. He missed it. Keeps the Browns in the game. Because, I mean, the way the Browns were moving the ball, they weren't. So, at that point in time, when Joseph was on the field, maybe trying to kick that field goal, put us up by 2 scores. The game wasn't over, of course, but I mean, it would have felt a little bit more comfortable putting you up by 2 scores. Well, he didn't make the field, so we were still up by 1. We're still holding on to this 1-score lead. Thankfully, we were able to preserve the victory. But I mean, special teams have not done the Giants well this year. Not done the Giants well at all. So, all right. But let's see here. I saw we had a couple of guys moving on. So, and good for them. Good for them. Couple of these guys, you should wind up knowing who they are. And there we go. Mr. Nick McLeod finds a new home. You know what? Good for him. I mean, it is what it is, and football's obviously the greatest team sport, bar none. Period. Right? Because you need 11 guys, different guys on offense, 11 different guys on defense. You need a whole bunch of guys on special teams. As you saw, we had like 31 guys on special teams for the Giants. So it's a truly great game, but it's a business, right? Nothing personal. It's a business. And as I said, now with McLeod, was it all? You're never going to know. Because when they were talking to Shane or Dable about it, it's like, well, we thought it was just what was best for the team. I mean, they ain't going to tell you, well, we cut him because of the salary or because he sucked this year or this. You're not going to know that. But it's a business, so but good for him. He caught on with some other place, and for him, now that the 49ers got McCaffrey back, they might be might be able to go on a little bit of a run here. They barely beat the Buccaneers on the road though, but that's because their field goal kicker missed like 13 field goals. If he connected on his field goals, the game was a lot more than just a 23-20 49er victory. But a win is a win, especially on the road, right? Baker Mayfield, give the guy a lot of credit. He's got the playing decent ball, right? But, I mean, now that McLeod, right, found himself with the 49ers, maybe lucky. Maybe he'll sniff the playoffs. It says ex-Giant Nick McLeod signs with the 49ers. After refusing a pay cut, McLeod lands with a contender. So, wind up good for him. Refusing to take a pay cut cost Nick McLeod his job with the Giants last week. It appears, though, to have helped him land in a better situation. McLeod is signed with the 49ers to become part of their practice squad, per Dan Dugan. The 49ers, of course, represented the NFC in the Super Bowl last season, losing to the Chiefs. This year, the 49ers are 5-4, fighting for their NFC West title and playoff berth. The Giants, of course, lost their fifth straight game and are 2-8. But McLeod, 26, is a valuable backup cornerback and an excellent special teams player. He actually started 5 games for the Giants this season and had started 16 of the 40 games he played in for New York over 3 seasons. NFL teams get 3 practice squad elevations before having to add a player to the 53-man roster. Best guess is that the 49ers will use those elevations fairly quickly on McLeod and that he ends up on the 53-man roster by the season's end. I hope he does. I got another article here. Let's see. 49ers signed Nick McLeod to practice squad. They released a safety. So the 49ers today announced that they have signed cornerback Nick McLeod to the team's practice squad. In order to make room on the practice squad, the team released Adrian Amos, a safety. McLeod, 6'1", 193 pounds, originally entered the NFL after signing with the Buffalo Bills as an undrafted free agent on May 13, 2021. Throughout his 4-year career, he has appeared in 40 games with 16 starts with the Bengals and with the Giants, where he registered 74 tackles, 10 passes defense, 3 forced fumbles, 3 fumble recoveries, 1.5 sacks, and 1 interception. McLeod has also appeared in 2 postseason contests where he totaled 2 tackles, 1 forced fumble, and 1 special teams tackle. In 2024, with the Giants, McLeod appeared in 7 games with 5 starts. He tallied 13 tackles, 1 pass defense, 1 special team tackle prior to being released by the team on November 5th. 26-year-old native of Rock Hill, South Carolina, McLeod attended North Carolina State University and the University of Notre Dame in 2020. That's where when he came out of college to be drafted, it was at Notre Dame. where he appeared in 49 games and registered 139 tackles, 28 passes defense, 4 interceptions, and 3 forced fumbles. 3 fumble recoveries. My bad. Amos, the guy they let go, who was 6 foot tall, 214, originally signed to the team's practice squad on October 15, 2024, and appeared in 1 game with the team. Now, if you look here, I mean, I'll go over what we got here. I mean, if I can pop this up here. Should be able to pop this up here for present, share the screen. Let's see, I'll pull this down. Hopefully, I got here somewhere. There we go. There's Nick McLeod. Let me pop this up here. You just notice, like, it just, I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure, if I mean, this is his. Let's see. Regular postseason. Okay, this is his. Right. You'll notice that his grade has come down a little bit. Right. Last season, the first 2 seasons with the Giants, with Wink. Now, if it was because of Wink's, you notice like last year his coverage grade was an 80.7. This year it's a 50. Even his first year with Wink was a 63.8. Played a lot of snaps. They brought, here he had 312 snaps last year, graded a 74.8, but his coverage grade was 80.7. This year, he was in 170 defensive snaps. His defensive grade is a 50. His tackling is a 30. His coverage grade is a 50. His pass rush was good, but his run defense was horrible. His run defense wasn't very good last year either. But so is he maybe taking a step backwards? I don't know. And then we go to special teams here. Bam! All right, special teams here. Okay, so right, this year he's graded out. He played almost like every week. Week 2 and 3, but week 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Graded out of 63. But if we look here. I mean, last year, 59.3. But here, I mean, 2022, he graded at 87, 231 special team snaps for the Giants. 87. Does it have how many tackles he has? Yeah, he had 5 tackles. Right, that year. This year, he missed 4 tackles last year on special teams, so that probably brought his grade down a decent amount. But he was a special teams ace 2 years ago in 2022, graded out 87. So I mean, you just noticed. I mean, it's just that I one of those things. He wasn't necessarily setting the world on fire. And I think it was like $3 million. And, I guess, they didn't have any inkling on trying to bring him back next season, I guess, because, if they ask you to take a pay cut, and you say no, I'm not sure if if there's going to be any interest for one to come back to the other. I don't know if the Giants are going to want to go out of their way to ask him to come back next year, or if McLeod, even they do, if McLeod's going to say, "Oh yeah, sure," so that might have just cut ties with the team, right? So, not sure, exactly why. It would have saved him a little bit of money if he took a pay cut. Well, I mean, either way, either he takes a pay cut or he leaves. I mean, either way, the Giants saved themselves some money. So. A little bit of money. If they don't, obviously, it's not like use it or lose it. So if they, whatever they saved by releasing McLeod, cutting them, right? As far as the salary cap, that if they don't use it, they can carry it toward next year. So that's good. But I mean, you can also kind of see where there's unfortunately, maybe. They see no more. They don't see or he was in the future for him. I mean, as you see, there are other guys on the team right now who aren't making $3 million a year, who are pretty much special teams aces or whatever who are making, under $1 million a year, who are doing as well, if not better than McLeod are on special teams. Now, that doesn't mean, McLeod, it's special teams and defense. That's, at $3 million, that's not a lot. For a guy to play a lot on special teams and a lot on, not a lot on, but you play defense, both. At $3 million, that's not a lot. You just got to be careful, like with Shane. Hey, it's a business, but you also got to be careful. You start doing this a lot, you'll start letting guys go and stuff like that. It's kind of like, what kind of messages it's sending to the locker room. So you got to be careful with that. Once again, it's a business, but it is what it is. But apparently Nick McLeod will be no mas. But good for him because he found himself on a contender. And as I said, one of the things that the problems that the 49ers had was McCaffrey. Now, he didn't set the world on fire as far as running the ball, but he caught him. He had over 100 total yards between rushing and receiving, right? The Buccaneers kept him somewhat bottled up as far as running, but he caught a bunch of passes, and he had over 100 total yards. Now, as I said, the 49ers, that their kicker would actually made some – I think he was 3 out of 6. He missed 3 field goals. So if he was a little more accurate with his field goals, the 49ers could have won that game by at least 2 scores. But, they're 5-4, and good for him. If they wind up elevating him, if they get elevated him 3 times, I think it's the 4th time you got to bring him up and put him on the team for, I think, at least 2 weeks. So, hey, good for him. Good for him. I ain't got no heart will toward him. So, if he makes it, if they make the playoffs, because you look at that division. You got the Cardinals, the 49ers, the Seahawks, and the Rams. It's like nobody's really taken off with that one. So, if the 49ers can stay healthy, right, they should hopefully maybe be able to pull that division out, maybe go on maybe some type of a playoff run. And if that does, that might include our buddy Nick McLeod. You know what? Good for you, brother. And speaking of other, and this one, I just some of this stuff is just I don't know. It just boggles my brain. Just some of this stuff here. So, of course, we all remember this guy. All right. And good for him. Unfortunately for him, he landed on a team. But it's not your mother's Bengals, shall we say? It's not the Bengals, the team that's been going to the playoffs and maybe making possible Super Bowl runs and all this stuff and everything. But at least he landed himself anyway, and good for him on another team. And so just one of the things that just kind of, as I said, always just kind of like boggles my brain, right? Is let some of these guys go, and it's like, is it because this regime didn't draft them? We didn't draft this guy. We don't want him. No. So you let him go and you keep Eric Gray? Yeah. It's just unbelievable. So just the way you let Brightwell go. I'm not saying the guy's Barry Sanders or not, but we let him go and we keep Eric Gray. So then you're going to probably let Eric Gray go and draft somebody else, and then it's like, well, why didn't you just keep this guy in the front? It's just kind of like, it's like, what are we doing? But all right. So I got an article in there, right? Yeah, here we go. Yep. Bengals signing former Giants running back to practice squad after bringing Leonard Fournette in for a workout, per report. So Leonard Fournette's still out there, apparently. Yet the Bengals are in the middle of a backfield makeover of sorts. The latest in this shakeup on their depth chart comes off the heels of a litany of workouts Monday that has the team signing former New York Giants back Gary Brightwell to the practice squad. Good for you, brother. Good for you, according to NFL media. This comes after the team invited veteran running back Leonard Fournette as part of those workouts conducted by Cincinnati. These workouts come after the Bengals placed running back Zach Moss on injury reserve due to a neck injury that is likely to put him on the shelf for the rest of the season. Cincinnati did begin to address their need for help in the backfield at the trade deadline, dealing for former Bears running back Khalil Herbert, and now Brightwell is another option for the club behind starter Chase Brown. Brightwell, he's only 25. He's got a lot of tread left on the tires because he wasn't getting a lot of use with the Giants. He was a 6th-round pick, right? But once again, it was in 2021. Shane, obviously, didn't draft him. Shane and Dable. He came with Kmart, right? He came with the store, right? So that we're looking back now, well, we didn't draft this guy. What do we want this guy for? Well, he's not the worst guy in the world, especially as a third-team running back. And one of the things coming out of college was he loves playing special teams, right? And he does a much better job at special teams than, let's say Eric Gray does, right? He spent his first 3 seasons in the league with New York, largely in reserve role and special teams player. During his tenure, he carried the ball 41 times for 164 yards and a touchdown. He averaged 4 yards a carry on a crappy offense, 4 yards a carry. He also caught 11 of 16 targets for 92 yards receiving. So a little over about 8.5 yards of reception. Last season, Brightwell suffered a hamstring injury in Week 7 that placed him on the injury reserve. He was waived in May with an injury designation. More recently, Brightwell had a brief training camp stint with the Jacksonville Jaguars this summer. He later would sign with the Cleveland Browns in late August and was primary on their practice squad until his release on October 29th. And they talk about Fournette. Yeah, so it's kind of, I don't know, if Fournette is just all beat up. Says, as Fournette, the 29-year-old, hasn't seen much action in the NFL in recent years, and that's slated to continue after Cincinnati seemingly decided to go in a different direction. The former number 4 overall pick out of LSU signed on with the Buffalo Bills practice squad in late October last season and made 2 appearances down the stretch, getting called up to the game day roster in weeks 16 and 18. That time, Fournette rushed for 40 yards and 12 carries. So, I don't know if Fournette is kind of, what would you say? Wore himself out. He's had a lot of carries, even especially in college. He had a lot of carries, a lot of touches, a lot of carries. And then when he came up, a lot of touches, a lot of carries. So I don't know if he's just kind of worn down, quite possibly. But if we look at, Eric Gray here, right? Let me see here. Pop this up here. Oops, share screen. All right, let me see if I got to find. Once again, I got 72,000. Oh, there we go. No. We're going to go Brightwell. Not Gray, Brightwell. All right, so let's look at Gary here, right? All right, so this is special teams, okay? Let's see. What was this here? 2024. Oh, no. This is with Cleveland, okay? We graded out a 64.9 with Cleveland. But I said here, these were all special teams, right? You notice his first year with the Giants, he had a 58.4, but his second year was a 69.1. His second is this season, 2023, the year he was injured, is 33.7 special teams, right? But a 69.1. But he's a special teams. He loves playing special teams. Absolutely loves playing special teams. Now let's see here. Wait. Snaps by. No, I don't want to do this. Let's try this here. 2023 snaps by positions. Okay, let's go here. Offense. Okay, so you notice here, right? Offensive grades. With the Giants, his first year he only had what? Grand total of 13 snaps. He was not used a lot, right? You're not going to get used a lot if you're the third option and you got Saquon Barkley as your starting back, right? So he had 13 total snaps, 54.7. But his second year is 92 total snaps, 67.7. His pass blocking's not too bad. Last season, he was in for just 41 total snaps, 64.4, 72.1 passing, so, I mean, not bad. Not too bad. Let's see here. Now, whoops. Okay. If I go here and look at, overall, Eric Gray here. I'm sorry. Yeah, Eric Gray. We got Eric Gray. Eric Gray here, Russian. The guy. I sometimes have a hard time speaking. It's like rushing. Eric Gray. He's averaging 2.6 yards per carry in his career. 2.6 yards per carry. Eric Gray. You put the guy back there. The guy can't catch punts. He runs out a kickoff, fumbles it. Next play, the Browns score a touchdown. He's averaging 2.6 yards a carry. 2.6 yards a carry. We let go of Brightwell, who's averaging 4 yards a carry. He does a better job on special teams. What the are we doing? Brightwell's hardly been used. Got a lot of tread left on the tires. They let him go with an injury designation. So, but the guy is able to come back and play with other teams. Now he's on a practice squad. Do we really have to let him go? You're letting a guy who's averaging 4 yards a carry. Now, let me see here. Where is he here? Gary Brightwell. Okay, so let's see here. Let's see here. Yards per carry, rushing. He's averaging 4 yards a carry. 2023 was not good. He averaged 2.1 yards a carry. But 2022, he averaged 4.5. His rookie season, he averaged 4. So he ran the ball 41 times, 164 yards behind crappy offensive line play. Our offensive line play is better this year. So maybe if he played this year, his averaging might be over 4 yards a carry, right? He has 1 touchdown, and what do we got? He caught 11 passes. He's averaging like 8.5 yards of reception. So, once again, the guy's averaging 4 yards a carry. I just don't get it. This would be his 4th year. So, I don't know how many teams would be breaking down the door to sign the guy next year. You could probably bring him back maybe on the cheap. See where you got to pay the guy a ton of money. If he wants a ton of money, okay, then you go elsewhere. But I said, apparently what I said in that article is we let him go. What did it say? It was in May. In week 7, he was waived in May with an injury designation. But he came back, right? Right. More recently, we had a brief camp stint with the Jaguars in the summer. So So he came back in the summer with the Jaguars. So we let him go, and within a month or so later, he was with the Jaguars. I don't get it. Guys averaging, I said, better special teams play. He's just as cheap, if not cheaper than Gray, because I think he was a 6th-round pick and Gray's a 5th-round pick. He's got a lot of tread left on the tires, better special teams, better running back. And all Gray does is muff punts, fumble kickoff returns, get to the half-inch line, getting ready to score a touchdown, fumble the ball, and they run it back 102 yards for a touchdown. That's Eric Gray. And we keep him, and we let Gary Brightwell go. What? So, and then probably next year, whatever, we'll let Eric Gray go. We'll probably bring somebody else in, and it's like, well, why don't you just keep Brightwell in the first? What are we? Why do we just keep shuffling guys in and out? What the we doing? Once again, it is what it is. But good for Gary Brightwell. I hope he makes it. I don't know if the Bengals, the way they're going, I don't know if they're going to be seeing any playoffs this season. But good for him. He's still in the league. I hope he catches on. I ain't got no ill will toward Nick McLeod or him or nothing like that. So hope he catches on. If not with the Bengals after the season, I hope he catches on someplace else. But a little bummed out, a little disappointed, a little scratching my head, pulling my hair out. Like, why did we let him go? I mean, if he had like a broken bone or something, he wasn't going to be able to play for months and months. Okay, but we let him go, and just a short while after that, he's with the Jaguars. Why couldn't we kept him? I mean, he's not better than Gray, yeah. Or is it just because Shane didn't draft him? Well, we didn't draft him. We don't want this guy. Oh my God! All right, so then we got to wrap up our program for this evening. Let's go over a shocking stat. John Schmelk kind of went over this here, and he was just specifically talking about this season. But I went back and looked, and I was just like, another one of the reasons why the Giants aren't winning football games. Gotta find it here. Here we go. Right here. Giants have not won the turnover margin in 18 straight games. So you figure, right? So we got the 10 games this year. Now, obviously, in these 18 games, there have been 18 out of the 18 there, and I'm going to go over each game, right? So obviously, there's been games where the turnover margin's been tied. Where the Giants get a turnover, but then the other team gets a turnover. So it's a wash, right? But the Giants have not won the turnover margin in any game for 18 straight games. So you got to figure, so all 10 games this year, all 10 games this year, and basically the last half of last season, when the final 8 games of last season, we didn't win the turnover margin, not one time. And you start thinking about it, right? I mean, you start, one turnover in this game, or one turnover in that game, or right, or one last turnover, and like, I mean, as I said, you take the 3 turnovers the Giants had. Basically, the 2 red zone interceptions almost guaranteed taking a field goal off. Almost. Right? Taking 3 points off. Then, of course, the turnover we had, the fumble, gave them a field goal. Right? Take one of those turnovers away, Giants might win the football game. Possibly win the football game. Right? So it's a huge and not only to go okay, we took one away but we gave one, or we took 2 away but we gave 2, or something like right? But I mean, we took 4 away, we only gave up 1. We had a +3 in the turnover. I haven't had that. So let's go here. All right. We got this. This one article is a deeper dive into the Giants' biggest issues through the first 10 games. So this article here, turnover differential. Right? There's a belief in football that you cannot win if you're losing the turnover battle. Look no further than the 2024 New York Giants, who are at -6 in the turnover differential, for undisputable evidence of this. Right? Through 10 games, the Giants' offense has turned the ball over 13 times, with 7 interceptions and 6 fumble loss. In particular, the Giants' running backs have been sloppy with ball protection, posting 5 fumbles, the same amount of rushing touchdowns the group has. They are followed by the quarterback, who's combined for 6 fumbles this season. Again, of the total fumbles, only 6 have been lost, but still, it goes without saying that when you lose the handle on the ball, you potentially lose yardage. And this team is just not good enough right now to overcome setbacks resulting from their own doing. Further, protecting the football will put the defense in compromising situations and force them to defend short fields. Yep. Meanwhile, the Giants' defense has struggled to force turnovers to return the ball to their offense. Only 8 total defensive turnovers were forced, 7 fumbles recovered this season, and we've only had 1 interception all season long. And that was in week 1. So we've gone the last 9 games without picking off a fucking pass. 9 games in a row without picking off a pass. They're just putrid. Stanks all over it. The defensive secondary struggles to make plays on the football, and the offense's lack of ball security has significantly hurt its team. Giants need to generate more turnovers on defense, and this offense must limit its mistakes. Another one of the problems here goes here's third down offense. The Giants offense ranks 20th in the league in third down conversion percentage, 37.3%. While this is not a kiss of death, it is not a sign of great sustaining offense. That's why a lot of times the Giants, like on fourth down, they got to go for it, right? This offense lacks consistency and reliability on key downs. They are averaging approximately 4.4 yards per play on third down this season. According to NFL's official stats, the Giants have found themselves in third and long, meaning 6 or more yards, 67 times this season, which means they're not exactly helping themselves on first and second downs either. But we digress. Not being able to convert these important downs at a higher percentage results in a stalled scoring drive or a settling for field goals. Quarterback Daniel Jones has fared far better with shorter down and distances where the offensive play calling can be balanced and unpredictable. Of course, with a quarterback change likely, we'll see if that helps with future third down conversions. However, staying out of third and long situations would help regardless of who is under center. Then they go to the passing offense. Giants passing offense is one of the least productive in the NFL right now. It is averaging 189.8 passing yards per game, which is 24th in the league. With the combination of inept quarterback play and allowing pressure at a high rate, 8.57% sacks per pass attempts, which is 22nd in the league, plus a 36% overall pressure rate, the Giants have struggled to execute the passing play designs. They are not devoid of short of weapons, but inconsistent protection paired with Jones' inconsistent play in the pocket is a detriment to their passing attack. Red zone offense. Giants offense is the worst in the league, ranked 32nd in red zone conversion and efficiency. Of their 77 red zone plays this season, 23rd, they've converted 39.29%, which is dead last in the league. Now, you got to remember also, right, is that when they're 2022, the year they went to the playoffs, their red zone percentage was really good. Really good. One of the reasons why, they had the success they had. They've done like a total 180. I mean, it's settling for 3 when you could be scoring 7 or 8, right? So a lot of times they keep getting down there, but they keep losing like 4 points at a shot because they can't score freaking touchdowns. Giants have little trouble getting to the red zone, but once they cross that magic line into the dead zone, things fall apart. They're averaging 2.4 yards per play inside the 20, which is 27th in the league. Minimal gains in the red zone limit their ability to convert these opportunities into touchdowns. Speaking of touchdowns, the Giants have scored 11 total red zone touchdowns this season, making them the second worst in the league, ahead of the Cleveland Browns. And you know how good they are. Jones in the passing offense averaging 1.8 yards per attempt, ranking dead last. And they have final thoughts. Part of the problem is play selection. The Giants tend to call slow developing plays, which allows defenders who already have an advantage by having less of the field to cover to get into position to make plays quickly. By going to more quick strikes instead of plays that like wide runs or 5 and 6, 7 drops, perhaps they can improve their red zone efficiency in these last 7 games. Might also help to continue leaning on rookie running back Tyrone Tracy Jr. to keep the offense balanced and on schedule, as long as he doesn't fumble. Also, whoever ends up as the quarterback needs a little bit more help behind an offensive line whose pass protection recently has had a few more hiccups. This can be accomplished by moving the launch point, especially in the red zone, to create a natural run-pass option, while some of the hiccups is also because they lost their their all-world left tackle, right? Overall, the offense is the biggest problem with the Giants team and the primary reason why the record is what it is. By fixing some of these issues, and they do have the resources to do so, the defense can be put in positions to be more aggressive in attacking the ball and potentially forcing turnovers, right? So, I mean, the turn was unbelievable. Let's go over each game, and we'll go back to last season too, all right? And we'll go back over all 18 games. And I said some of these games were tied. The Giants forced the same amount of turnovers as what they got. Right there. So I said, all right, so let's see. So obviously, let's go here with Carolina. The Giants had 3 turnovers, right, and they only forced 1. Against the Commanders, the Giants had 1 turnover. They didn't force any turnovers. Against the Steelers, Giants had 2 turnovers, and they only forced 1. With the Eagles, right, there was none. They forced none, but they didn't give up any. The problem was somehow they had 119 yards of offense. But anyway, and you got the Bengal game. We forced 1 turnover, but we gave up a turnover. The Seahawks, we forced a turnover, but and we got a turnover, so that was a wash. The Cowboy game, we had the 1 turnover. We didn't get any, right? Perhaps if we didn't have the 1 turnover, or if we got a turnover against the Cowboys, maybe we wind up winning that game. We only lost by 5 points. The Browns game, we gave up 2, but we got 2. Once again, it was a wash. We did not win the turnover battle. The second game of the season against the Commanders, we gave up 1 turnover, and we didn't get any. Now, that 1 turnover, well, that was kind of tough because we actually lost our kicker. But had we had a kicker, right, Motor Singletary fumbled the ball inside the 35-yard line, got a first down, but fumbled it, and the Commanders got the ball. Had we got the ball, had they not fumbled it, we had the first down inside around the 32, I think it was. Maybe we continue on, and maybe we score a touchdown there, and we wind up winning the game. Or if we actually had a kicker, we're inside the 30, we're down around the 32, say we pick up another 5 or 6 yards, maybe the field goal kicker makes the field goal, we get another 3 points. Maybe the game goes into overtime. Who knows, right? But that 1 turnover killed us. And then the first game of the season, the Viking game, we got 2 turnovers, but we gave up 2 turnovers. So once again, that was a wash. Right? So that's 10 games here. So let's go back to the last season. Right? And we'll go over the 8 games, the final 8 games of the season. Right? The game against the Eagles. Packers 2 and 3, 1 and 3. Let's see here. There we go. Okay. Oops. Oh, no, okay. I do apologize. They did win. They wound up winning the turnover battle. I do apologize. So it's been 10 games. Been 10 games. I might have been looking at like the wrong season or something like that, which is possible. I do stupid things, but it's been 10. The last 10 games, they have not won the turnover battle, and they did last year. They actually did. They did win the turnover battle in some of those games. I was looking at I think I might have been looking at the wrong year, but not one time this year, 10 games, had the New York Football Giants won the turnover battle. 10 straight games. And I said, you look at however many games we've had. I mean, let's see where I still got the season up longer. Yeah, I mean, you look. I mean, right against the Commanders, we lost by 3 points. The Cowboys, we lost by 5. The Steelers, we lost by 8, 1-score game. Commanders, we lost by 5 points. Panthers, we lost by 3 points. Just so many games. So one less turnover given up here, one more turnover given up, taken away, whatever. The score can be different. I mean, that's huge. Tom Coughlin said, one of the biggest indicators as far as winning and losing football games is how many turnovers you give up and how many times you take the ball away. I mean, it's huge, absolutely huge. And there's no better indication of that than the New York Football Giants from this season. We've gone 10 straight games, and we haven't won the turnover battle in one of the games. And just another one of those reasons why the New York Football Giants this year are 2-8. All right, guys, been 1 hour and 26 minutes. Whoever spent any time listening to me live, thank you. Or if anybody's going to spend any time watching a replay of this, once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. It means the world to me. Thank you. And as always, you guys stay safe out there and go Giants. Woo! Oh, yeah.